it's a different way of connecting, but with story. And I think in some ways a deeper, more meaningful way than your traditional your traditional fare that you might find on TV and film. When you watch a show, you're very much if you're watching Last of Us, you are watching these characters play out the story in a very visceral way. What you do in tabletop that's very different is that you're sitting around a table, you're sort of orally telling the story together as a group, inhabiting characters, playing encounters and these things, but you're kind of voicing them almost like in a podcast style. This is why I liken it to a novelization. It's like when you pick up a fantasy book, sometimes you need to get to page 200 before you're like, holy cow, now I'm into this world. And you're right, it does require a little bit of patience, or at least an understanding of what you're sort of getting into. But I also feel like it's probably what people first said when Joe Rogan was like doing a 4-hour podcast, and they were like, why the hell am I going to listen to this jerk talk for 4 hours, whatever. And it's like, it's a different way of connecting, but with story. And I think in some ways a deeper, more meaningful way than your traditional traditional fare that you might find on TV and film. I think that's why it's selling out Madison Square Garden. I think it's why it's selling out Madison Square Garden right now. These guys that on Dimension 20 and Critical Role have such gigantic followings. And it's because they are, again, they're just connecting with people on such a deep level with their storytelling.